All right. Good morning, everyone, and welcome once again. Happy New Year, Mercer FCA podcast, episode number 16. We have Mercer Beach Volleyball. Finley is here today. Finley, I'm so excited to finally get you on the show. Like, I know we were talking,
Yeah,
a couple
we've
months
been
ago about
planning for a while.
trying to line this up, but luckily the stars have perfectly aligned. And welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
So, beach volleyball, and I know a lot of people. A lot of people that I've talked to in terms of once I got to the campus and I was telling them about all the sports that we have, and every time I've said beach volleyball, they're like, man, how did that tell me about that, because that's not typically the typical college
Yeah.
teams that you tend to hear about. So I'm really excited to kind of see how you made your way into that into that sport and everything like that. So before we get there though, let's go ahead and go all the way back. Kind of tell us about where you're from, your family life, and anything like that.
Okay. I'm from Canton, Georgia. I'm the youngest of four siblings, and both my parents, so family of six. Honestly, I've lived in the same place my whole life. I love it. It's a small town. It's definitely blowing up a little bit. We're getting a lot of construction, new apartments and everything, but I love it. All my siblings went to the same high school, so I was known as the little Kenney growing
Sure.
up
Yeah.
and all of that. Um, Honestly, I wouldn't really say anything out of the ordinary, just a basic, honestly, growing up. Talking faith wise though, we always grew
Mhm.
up Christian. We would go to church, but like I said, all my siblings played sports. So we were crazy on the weekends. So Sundays
Yep.
kind of slipped away for us for sure.
Mhm.
And then going into my junior year was my big life change. I just kind of woke up one day and I was like, I don't really like who I'm around or what I'm doing.
Mm.
And I just dove into the word and I started reading John, which of course everyone starts on John, but I was reading
Yeah.
John and I read every day and I finished it in a month and I was super proud of that. And I just kind of ran off from there. And this girl, Keaton, who I've always grown up with, literally
Mhm.
since I've known her since kindergarten. I've known everyone in my town since kindergarten. And we were always friends, but nothing super crazy. We would just see each other at school and hang out. But she was
Mhm.
always super in her faith, and so was her family, and they just radiated a lot of God's love. And junior year brought us crazy together. We were
Mm.
best friends, inseparable, and she brought me so close to the Lord. And we started a little Bible study with my Spanish teacher's wife. And I know that sounds weird, but if you knew the situation, my Spanish teacher is the best person ever. I had him for 2 years in a row, and he was just awesome. He was a great guy, and he came up to me and Keaton one day because we had it together, and he was like, "This is gonna
Mhm.
sound weird, but you guys need to meet with my wife." And we were like, "What? We're not meeting with your wife? That's actually crazy." But he was like, no, she used to be a teacher too, but then she took off to have their kids because they have three kids. And
Mhm.
he was like, I really think she's missing this part of her life, and I think that you guys would be great for this. And we are like, all right, we'll just go to make you happy. We'll go once. And so
Mhm.
we went and met with her, and from there on we met every week until we
Mm.
left for college. And I literally saw them last Sunday before I left for school. We all met for the second time being home from break. They are the biggest rock of my faith, and
Mm.
they helped me grow so much. We went through Bible study books, and me and Keaton went and found churches. We didn't have a home church, and then we found
Mhm.
Generations Church, and that's where I got home, which has been life changing for me. And honestly, yeah, they are the biggest blessings, and that has brought me to my faith a lot. And then obviously coming to Mercer and then going to FCA and trying to find
Mhm.
a church at Mercer has been great, and found me some great community.
Man, that is wow. That was awesome, man. You almost just went through the whole life there of everything. Man, super
Yeah.
cool. That man, there's a lot of great points in there that I definitely want to talk more about. All right, so first, being the um youngest of four, um,
Yes.
how many of boys, girls? What are we talking here?
Okay, so we have two boys and two girls. So it went my brother Brendan, and then my brother Blake, and then Ellie, and then me.
Okay, so what were
Mhm.
their sports like? How did go ahead and talk about like the sport life for all of y'all, and maybe even what that was like for you being the youngest,
Yeah.
trying to follow in everybody's footsteps.
Okay, so we all grew up playing basketball. We were some CYB demons. My mom made us all play basketball, which was like so fun. And like for our elementary school, it was awesome. We were Liberty Lions. So we all played basketball growing
Nice.
up. And then Brendan, he like continued to play basketball through high school. And then both the boys got super into football. That was like their main sport. Big,
Mm,
wanted to tackle everybody, but they loved it. My brother set like
sure.
a bunch
Yeah.
of records for our high school that are like still there. He was crazy. But they both ended up going to Georgia, just like for school, not for athletics. And then my
Okay. Yeah.
sister, she played basketball too. She did lacrosse. She did like anything she could, honestly. She was so athletic and like she loved to work out and like stay active. But her
Hmm.
two main were definitely basketball and lacrosse, like all growing up and through high school. And then she also went to Georgia just for academics because she was super smart. And then,
Yeah.
so I grew up playing basketball, and contrary to the three siblings, did not enjoy basketball. I was the tallest person on the
Really.
team, and I still couldn't make a layup. Like, the coordination just wasn't there for me at all. And so then finally, my mom let me quit that, thank goodness. So, middle
Mm,
school, I did cheerleading, I did basketball, I did volleyball, and I was just like trying to find my main thing. And indoor volleyball was
yeah.
super fun for me. So, I started that in sixth grade, and it was literally so much fun, and I found like my best friends through it. um so I did that until junior year of high school, and then a coach kind of ruined it for me. I'm not gonna lie, but it was
Mm,
okay. It was a great ending, honestly, and it was like God's timing for sure, because I was definitely getting burnt out with the sport. But I would like always play beach volleyball
yeah.
in the summer just to like keep me like athletic, I guess, because like we didn't have
Hmm.
club volleyball during the summer, so I'd play beach volleyball. And then whenever I quit, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna like have fun with beach volleyball. And then I got like so into it. Like it was so fun.
Mm,
We went to so many camps, so many college like tours and camps and stuff like that, and like all the tournaments. Like me and my mom literally traveled the world for volleyball. We went to
wow.
Hawaii my senior year to play.
Wow.
It was
Man.
crazy. It was so much fun. And then Coach Josh gave me the opportunity to play here, and I was like, of course. So I'm here playing beach volleyball.
Man. Wow. So with the all right, so like was that beach volleyball, like was that like a big club thing? Like did y'all have any of that in the school at all, or was that just, kind of word of mouth and you just kind of heard it from
Right.
some friends talking about it?
Yeah, well, like Florida, it's like very much like a high school sport,
Hmm.
but obviously in Georgia, there are no beaches,
Right.
so it like
Right.
wasn't a thing. But there's this really big club that is like right in my area. It's called S3 Volleyball, and they have like
Okay.
three different locations, and one was literally like 15 minutes from my house. So it's
Mm,
awesome. And one of my best friends that actually plays at Mercer now with me, Shaylee, that goes to FCA
yeah.
too.
Okay. Yeah.
So we played indoors together, and then she quit a year before me, and she went to beach and she loved it. And I was like, no, 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 I love indoor. I love indoor. And then I ended up quitting, and I
Yeah.
was like, no, I'm going to join her. And then we got recruited together to go play at Mercer. So it was like a whole first full circle moment.
Wow. Man, very full circle. That is, wow, that is super cool. So, all right, okay, so how was that in terms of, because I always kind of love to kind of talk about this for like everybody's story in terms of being the youngest and having a very athletic family. Like, did you ever feel like, man, I have a lot of pressure on me, and like, just like you said, like you did not enjoy playing the sport of basketball there early on. Like, was there a lot of pressure to just try to play just because everybody else did?
Yeah, honestly, like our family was very big into athletics, and it was always just
Mhm.
like you have to have something. Like our family was so busy. It was like if you didn't have something, you're getting left behind. But
That's right.
I honestly did always love to be active. Like obviously my mom made me keep playing basketball because she was like, "We're not going to quit mid-season. You're going to keep playing," which I did
There you go.
appreciate in the long run. But yeah, she
Yeah.
definitely wanted me to play, but also I wanted to play and like prove myself to my older siblings and all that. And honestly, I am the least athletic out of my whole family, so like no one was expecting me to be the one to be D1, which is
You're
so
you're the college athlete
yeah,
out of everybody.
it's
Wow.
so crazy. Yeah.
Man, super cool there. All right. So tell me about, you know, growing up in the school, like, how were you as a student? How and as you got older, playing more and more sports, getting involved in cheerleading and everything like that with the school. How did you try to find that time trying to balance athletics and the academic side?
I was like super like into grades. Like I was very much like if I don't get an A, I'm done.
Mm,
So I was very like I worked really hard and like I definitely did stress myself out to some areas where I shouldn't have. But I was very like determined like I wanted to have good grades and not just have athletics with me. Like that was just like kind of never
mhm,
really an option for my family. Like I just had such great like role models, like my three siblings before me like I said, they were such great athletes, but they were so smart that they could go to Georgia without even any of that. Like
right.
they
Yeah.
set up like a great like thing to look up to for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, grades were super super important for me. Indoor volleyball was like crazy traveling like every weekend. So that was definitely hard, but I think I just like kind of hustled like while I was in school, like do my work in school and try and like be ready for
Yeah.
practice after school and stuff like that.
Yeah. When did
Mhm.
that like start for you in terms of all the travel and on the weekends? Like how early, like what grade was that?
I would definitely say like at least freshman year is whenever it first
Okay.
started.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, cause, like I've kind of shared with y'all, being, teaching in the school and stuff like that. Like, we would see, man, sixth and seventh grade already, like, they would come and tell us, like, if we had a game or at a tournament, up in Atlanta or something like that.
Right.
And, it was always like, man, like, this is starting earlier and earlier. Like it is just, nonstop. And still, now like our oldest son is 10. And so we have a lot of friends in that, same age, and same thing. Like, man, like we see them loading down the car on Friday night and they're coming back Sunday and they're staying in hotels and just, all this, you know, all the traveling and, everything with it. And so from your like experience of it, like how did that, being on the road a lot, dealing with the stress and like the pressure, also, I think of the school, like the like academic side as well. How did the like all of that increase how you played, or did it potentially hurt it down the road?
Well, well, with traveling, I'm definitely a homebody. I will say
Mm,
that. So I was like very much like I'd rather stay home and hang out with my friends and
mhm,
family, but I did love the sport and like honestly, it's so weird to think about it now, but I like never even thought it was an option. I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to be gone this weekend." Like it wasn't like
right.
a I was never
It was
thinking like,
normal.
"Oh, I have an
Yeah.
option to stay home." Like
Yeah.
that wasn't really a thing for me. But I don't know, I just, like, never really thought about it.
Yeah.
Honestly, I did like it a lot. Like, during the end, it definitely helped, like, burnt me out, like, with the indoor
Mm,
volleyball for sure, just, like,
yeah.
being gone every weekend, and then in, that season, especially whenever I, like, just wasn't playing, so I was, like just, like, I'd be traveling this far just to be, like, sitting on the bench, like, that
Oh
definitely
yeah.
hurt.
Yeah.
Like, it's just kinda hard to, like, mentally get through that, but
Hmm.
honestly, I thought the traveling was always fun and like even the ones that you ended up dreading, you found the best memories out of and like
Yeah.
honestly, I'm very grateful for everything that I went
Good.
through to get me here.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. I just like to hear everyone's like, you know, different kind of experience with it. And like I would think a lot of it also has to deal with like your parents and how they, were they stressing the performance of it, or like were they stressing, man, just go out and just play your best. You know what I mean? Like there's different styles of that, and that can weigh a lot on especially a young athlete trying to learn how to navigate all of this. And so that always goes into everyone's story and just how they have um, improved as an athlete physically, mentally, and everything with that. So, all right. So now going into the high school, like you were saying, like your junior year was definitely like a switch for you. Kind of walk us through how that happened. What was kind of like the catalyst of it, and how all of that went.
Okay, well, growing up like I honestly just like grew up hanging out with my like siblings friends, honestly. Like I was always hanging out with the older crowd and stuff like that.
Right.
So once I got in high school, and me and my sister have a 2-year age gap, so we were in high school together. Like I would hang out with her friends, which was super fun, but at the end of the day they were a lot older and mature than me.
Mm-hmm.
And I just like kind of fell into an area of like trying to be someone I'm not, and like trying to like fit in with a group. And like I loved all of her friends and I love all of my friends still from high school. It just like kind of got to a point to me where I was like, I'm just trying to prove myself to other people. I'm not even being who I want to be.
Mm-hmm.
And then that was like a big thing. It was just like a like partying thing on the weekends, and like I just like found myself not really like diving towards the Lord at all. Like it just wasn't there. And then I went through a breakup junior year, and I just like obviously you always feel lonely like whenever you break up with somebody and like the loss of any kind of relationship. And thank goodness that that happened to me, because that's whenever I really was like, I need to go someone, I'm going to go to the Lord. And that
There
like
you go.
was a huge eye opener for me. And like honestly, I am so grateful for everything
Mm.
that has happened.
And so was the junior year also with, starting to, try to get into that Bible study with the Spanish teacher's wife as well? Like, did all of that just kind of all just happen at once?
Yes. It literally like all perfectly fell into my lap. It was such a blessing for sure.
Wow. And all right, so that now, like, I mean, you already kind of talked about it a little bit, like first read through John and, able to knock that out like within a month. How did that change you? Like, was there a certain, story in there, or was it just, everything in terms of the life of Jesus? Like, you know, like how did that like increase your faith?
Honestly, this is crazy. I literally had a Bible, but I took my dad's study Bible, because obviously a study Bible is like a bit different. It like dives
Yeah,
deeper into scripture to like help me understand, because especially
yeah.
in that state, I didn't really know much about like what scripture meant. Like I would just be confused when I was reading it.
Hmm.
But I literally did learn so much in it. Just like I went a little highlighter crazy, definitely, but I learned so much from John. Honestly, it was so long ago, and I haven't really dove into John in that like recently or anything like that. But like if I didn't start there, I don't know. Well, I bet I definitely still would be where I am, but
Yeah.
I'm so thankful that it was John, because like just learning everything that I did and learning all of like God's story and Jesus, it
Mhm.
was just it was perfect for me, honestly.
And, it like it always seems to work out that way. It's always
Yeah.
perfect. No, like, and I'm the same way in terms of a highlighter and trying to take notes as well. Like, I just got a brand new Bible, and so I'm already starting to kind of highlight that one like crazy.
Hmm.
And this is what I was, as I was doing that also, and also, trying to take notes, or if we're, if it's Sunday at church, like I'm writing down stuff that like, that like the pastor's saying and stuff like that. And, like it got me thinking like, man, it's going to be cool to go back, like as I'm going through this, but then like maybe, a year goes by like before the next time I actually read that certain story. So it'll be cool to kind of go
Yes.
back and read those notes I was taking at that time to maybe,
Yeah.
re-trigger some of that. So with that, like, have you went back and actually looked at that same study Bible that you first went through then, and maybe even looked at some certain things you were highlighting?
Like honestly, no, I haven't, and I need to. I like once I like started diving more into the word, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go back to my normal Bible.
Mhm.
And I just like dove into that and went crazy with that. And honestly, I haven't even thought to go back to that study Bible, but it was honestly awesome. I really
Yeah.
should.
Yeah, no, I'm sure it'd be cool. And it would probably re-trigger a couple of those, you know, life-defining moments for you as
Right.
you, kind of go back through it. But but like a study Bible is great. Just because it'll actually go through the history of, man, this is what was going on in that time frame. This is how like
Right.
politics were, this is how the government was, and really kind of sets the tone of everything that it's truly saying there. So yeah, I am all for that. Like, the more that you know about it, like I would think it's ultimately going to just make the story that much better.
Yeah.
um and so with that, all right, so now like your faith is growing, you're starting to play beach volleyball, like you've already stopped playing for the school and everything. So how did recruitment happen through that, and what was that like? Was it always just one school, or like was there, like, did you have options? Like, go through that story.
Okay, so another God moment for me, I feel like. So we were playing, there's this place called Lake Point that's like 30 minutes from my house, and we play a
Okay. Yeah.
bunch of tournaments there.
Hmm.
And we ended up playing there, and we played my coach's daughter. Like Coach Josh, who coaches here, his
Right.
daughter. So me
Okay.
and Shaylee were playing this girl, and we were like, oh, she's so good because she was committed to go to North Florida. And we were like so
Mm,
scared to
yeah.
play her. But we were like trying so hard, obviously, and we didn't think anything was going to go out of it. We ended up losing the game. But then
Hmm.
Coach Josh comes up to us and is like, who are you guys? And like we told him his name, and he was like, you guys have to come to my camp. And we were like, okay, we'll come to your camp.
Yeah.
So we were like so excited. And me and Shaylee, like basically all of junior year summer, went to so many camps. And I
Yeah.
was like super, super interested in USF before I even thought of Mercer. But like honestly, I was so new to the program. Like I quit indoor volleyball junior year in that summer. So like I quit May, and then May through August was me traveling and like finding
Wow.
coaches and going to colleges. So it was like a quick turnaround, and I was like trying to hit the ground running because that's
Yeah.
whenever people first are allowed to talk to college coaches. So I was like, "Oh my
Hmm.
gosh, I have to get so good at this before they like all get taken up and all that stuff." So I was like super stressed, but I had great coaches at S3 that were like super helpful and had like a lot of great connections.
Mm.
So USF and Mercer were like my top two. Mercer
Yeah.
was the last camp that I went to that summer. And let me tell you, I was so burnt out. I was like, I've literally done something every single day of summer. This wasn't even a break.
Yeah.
But that camp was like the only camp that I genuinely had so much fun at. And it was like
Mm.
more than just volleyball. It was like a great community, and it was like about fun too. And it was like it was about accepting like the failures and like being okay that you're messing up because you're getting better.
Wow.
And at
Yes.
any other camp, I've never really felt like that. It's always been like if you mess up, you're like, oh no, now the coach doesn't like me and stuff
Yep.
like that.
Yep.
So they're just like they're great coaches, honestly. And I felt different like from the day I went to that camp. And then
Mm.
August 2nd, he offered me, and I was like, yeah, I'm taking it. And
Oh,
like
wow.
yeah, like right after that, the USF coach was like still texting me like to go to camps and stuff, and I was just like, honestly, no. Because I loved her and I love USF, but I just thought that Mercer was a place for me, and it's close to
Wow.
home in state, and I was like, the stars are aligning, so
Yeah.
I had to go here.
So starting your senior year, you already knew where you were
Yeah,
going. Wow.
junior year I
Man.
committed, so it was awesome.
Yeah. Man. Wow. Man, that is and so like, I was I was talking to Trey like a couple weeks ago on the podcast as well. Like once you knew you were coming here, were you like all in wearing orange every day? And
Oh
like
yeah,
how did
like
that like
my high school was sick of me. I was wearing orange or Mercer every single day. Like the amount of clothes that I have from the school before I got all the athlete clothes is unreal.
yeah,
I have a
man.
Mercer sticker on my laptop right here in front of me. It's crazy. It's
Yeah.
everywhere. For
Man,
sure.
that is super cool. And so obviously like your parents were like, like excited with that. I would imagine. So how did that like did you already have an idea for like the degree like you were going to try to go for, or is that something that okay, now that I already know I'm going there, like I kind of need to kind of figure out my pathway?
Honestly, yes. I was like, I really do want to figure out what I want to do pretty quick. But seeing all of my siblings go
Mhm.
through college, it's pretty obvious that like what you think you're gonna do freshman year is probably not what you're gonna end up doing.
It's
But
going to change. Yeah.
yeah, ever since I was little, I've always wanted to be a teacher, and I've always wanted to go into
Mhm.
teaching, which I know is kind of a dying job at the moment, but I just feel very called to it.
Yeah.
And so that's where my heart is right now. But I'm definitely staying broad with my major. I majored in marketing because there's
Okay.
so many great ways I could go through that. And I think that that's just a great degree to have in general.
Sure.
But I definitely have been praying about it and just like asking the Lord
Yeah.
where he should lead me because I am definitely not knowing my future.
Wow. Yeah. No, that's look, I mean, it was the same for me. Like I started out completely different degree and just trying to go like the like a admin route with with everything like that. And I was in my second year taking like accounting 2 and 3 and thinking this is not what I want to do. This is
Yeah.
this is awful. And I can still remember like talking to my mom, and she was like, well, like, what do you think like a great day of work would be like? And I was like, man, just being out on the football field coaching. And she's like, just go try to be a
Right.
like a coach. And so that was literally as quickly as it happened. And I was like, and then I went and traded my major and everything like that. And but yeah, it. I mean, just like you said, kind of like a dying degree, like right now, like it, knowing how education is and everything. But man, I will definitely say we need great teachers out there. Like
Mhm.
coming from the education background, my wife still being a teacher as well. Man, we like there is always a constant need for great educators, and like especially like coming from your like experience of knowing how important it was just for your teacher's wife to be involved in your life. Like that was a
Yes.
huge, obviously a huge moment for you. And so, having that kind of experience, and if that is your calling, like, I mean, like you said, you're still kind of praying about it, but if that is, man, what a great, model to try to live up to and try to have that
Yeah.
kind of impact on other people as well. So, um, all right. So now, like, I always love to ask this first day of like, like right there in the summer, your parents come. It's like, it's like the move-in day on the campus, and you get dropped off. Mom and dad leave, and you're by yourself on the campus that first night. What was that? What was that feeling like?
That was actually crazy. Well, actually, my parents like to lurk around, and we only live 2 hours away from here. So they stayed the night, and we went to church that Sunday. So that was actually
Okay.
great. So
Yeah.
we got
All
to
right.
hang out, and we went to church, and then we like ate breakfast. But saying goodbye to them was so hard, and especially because me and my mom are like peas in a pod here, and we're both
Yeah.
very sensitive. So she was
Yeah.
like bawling, and then I can't look at her else. I'm bawling, crying, and then I like wrote
Of
them
course.
letters, and my dad started crying. It was crazy. It was
Oh
so
man.
sad, but
Yeah.
saying goodbye to them was super hard just because they're such great parents that have like always supported me and like I said earlier, like my mom and I literally have traveled everywhere together and like done so much together just through volleyball. So it's just like such a
Yeah.
blessing always having her. So that was definitely hard, but like I do have such like good friends. Like the beach volleyball team, like they're six freshmen and we're all in the same
Mhm.
dorm. So we are literally inseparable. Like it was like, oh, you have to go to the store, I'm coming with you. Oh, you want Seven Brew, I'm coming with you.
Yeah.
Oh, you
Yeah.
want to go to FCA, I'm coming with you. Like
Yeah.
I literally have not been alone since I've been here. And then I come back to my dorm and my lovely roommate's here. But I love Elena. She's my roommate. She's awesome. So honestly, like it's been a blessing in disguise, like how busy I am with like the schedule and everything, and like
Yeah.
having such awesome friends that I can like be with all the time. Cause like obviously I'm sad I'm not with them, but they're also great blessings that I'm like seeing here and I get to
Yeah.
live with here. So yeah.
Man, super cool. So, and that's always just a big moment, like I think of, for everybody, because that's really like the wake up call. Okay, you're now on your own. Like you got to start making these big time decisions. You got to go to the grocery store. Like you got to
Yeah.
pay the bills. Like this is really on you, right? Right now, and not only that, just for like a normal student, but man, being an athlete as well. And so now having what was that like for you in terms of, man, trying to balance the academics, um, of a a big time school like here, and also trying to be a college athlete as well, and trying to navigate weights and practice and everything that comes with that. What was that like?
I like went ham. I'm not gonna lie. Like I was so like so many people prepared me for that. They're like, Finley, this is gonna be so hard. This is gonna be so hard. So
Yeah.
I was like, I have to do all of this. So like I would get study hall done by Tuesday because I would stay for 6 hours on Monday and like I was like ready for all my classes like a week before. I
Yeah.
and like obviously freshman classes are definitely easier than like
Hmm.
your sophomore and junior classes that you have to take for your major. So I like had some easier classes, but I like definitely like just dialed in and I was like, I'm going to get this right. I am not going to procrastinate because honestly, it is crazy. Me at here and me at home are like two different people. Like procrastination, Finley's at home. I make my bed every
Yeah.
morning here. I
Yeah.
like get all my work done immediately here. I just like was like I'm having a new version of myself here. So
Yeah.
honestly, that was like the best thing to just like keep me like occupied and just like go go go.
Yeah.
And lift and practice was like super fun last semester. Like our team was always just like having fun and like obviously like getting better. And we were all like all the freshmen, we were sore together, we were in
Right.
pain together, we did ice baths together. Like it was good that I wasn't going through it by myself. Like I
Mhm.
had so many people not to complain with, but to just like live with through it, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. No, like having that team atmosphere and having a teammate, having people that's you know going through the same life that you are, and like
Right.
being able to kind of, I mean, just like I said, trying to go through that together as a group makes it way better. And and so it's not only just one other person, man, but I have six of y'all kind of
Yeah.
all kind of doing everything together. And then like I would definitely think that that is a big advantage,
Yes.
just to be able to have that. And so all right, so now with that, trying to navigate the college life, trying to navigate college athlete life, how has your faith continued to grow from where it started just a few years ago?
Well, just like college is so unknown. Like
Mhm.
there's just so many question marks for my future and like there's so much like that I have in control of. Like I get to make my own decisions and I get to live my own life. So this is like where I've clinged to God the most, I feel like, because I've like the most independent. Like after lift every morning last semester, I would read my Bible before practice because we had like
Mhm.
an hour interval and it was like perfect for me. So I like could change my mindset and like get ready and
Yeah.
like have a good mindset and growing in the Lord has been awesome this year because like I love everyone here. I truly do. But like I was blessed with a great home and a great like
Mhm.
upbringing. So it's like hard to compare like my 18 years at home to like my
Yeah.
one semester here. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, these aren't my same friends. Like they're not my real friends." But I love everyone here. It's just like it's so different cuz it's all so new. So
Yeah.
like that's where I cling to Jesus the most and just like prayed for him for clarity and like for comfort and just like for him to search me and help
Yeah.
me just like I don't know, be the light in
Yeah.
some ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so like with that, with your crew of like y'all that are kind of going through everything together, it like are y'all also trying to read the Bible together as well?
Not really, honestly. Our group is very like dispersed. Like we're all from
Mm.
different places and like everyone's religiously different. Like one of my
Yeah.
teammates is Catholic, I'm Christian. We have a couple other Christians and we just have like some that just like aren't really into anything, which is like
Yeah.
totally fine. It's just like it's definitely that has been hard for sure. But like me and Shaylee
Hmm.
and Kylie and Hollis all like went to FCA a bunch last semester and like we
Yeah.
always ask our team, we're like, y'all wanna come? Y'all wanna come? So that has been a great light for us. Like just being able to be like, it's literally at the field house, it's only 1 hour, like please
Yeah.
come, like it's not even gonna be like it's just like so lighthearted and fun at the same time as also like hearing God's word and introducing it to some people that don't really like know what the Lord is.
Yeah.
So that has been great for us to just like kind of bring to other people, honestly.
Man, it's so encouraging. And that's like this is what I always try to kind of think of it like that, because like I would think we all have those kind of people in our lives where like we know that they're not going to church, or they're not you know don't really have an ongoing like relationship with Christ and everything like that. And so you try to make little jabs of like, man, come with me, come to church, like like we're doing this tonight. And they keep having some kind of like an excuse, or they keep turning you down or something. But man, just to think that, what if what if they finally say yes, and then what if they start doing that very like consistently, and then the Holy Spirit starts, kind of creeping into their heart. And then all of a sudden, like they have a story where they're like, man, like I kept saying no, but I had these teammates, and these teammates kept on. These teammates
Hmm.
kept on. Like these teammates kept on inviting me. And I finally said yes. And now my life has completely changed. So like I like that's always like the encouraging thing for me, like in terms of that, of just, where sometimes you could be disheartened by it, of just, or like, man, like I keep asking, but they don't ever want to do it. But just, just to think, man, just, it could just take that one time, and that one time could literally change everything for them for their entire rest of their life. And so, stay at it, keep on, and man, and then also just know, and this is something that obviously I have learned over time, but man, just because Christ is working in your life and God is doing things in your life, he's also doing things in their life as well. And even though they might not be proclaiming that it's him, he's also on the move. Like he'll make a way for them as well. So stay at it, be very encouraged by that and it could just take one time, and everything would be completely different for them. So super cool with that. And all right, so now y'all are getting ready, season's about to start. I was just going to the page here, and the page actually has a countdown clock. I don't know if you've seen this, but literally it's literally counting down the time. 43 days, 8 hours, 44 minutes, 30 seconds, and it's counting down until the first game. So how are y'all feeling going into this season, and how excited are you to be able to start your college athlete career here?
Yeah. Also did not know about that. That is crazy, but that's fun to know that I only have 43
Awesome.
more days. But I'm super, super excited. Last year was a huge year for beach volleyball. They broke all of their records and they had a great season. But a lot of their team, the starters, did graduate. So this year's definitely going to be different. It's going to be more of a growing year. But I think that's such a blessing for me and the six freshmen coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully we can
Sure.
help make a way on this team. And even if we don't play, which hopefully we do, it's just making our own way. And this team's going to be
Yeah.
different, and it's going to be a lot of change. And I hope it's great change. And I'm really excited to travel with everyone and just be with everyone. Because obviously I'm with the six freshmen all the time, but all the older girls that are in the lofts, I'm excited to just be with them more and get to spend my time with them.
Yeah, no, I can't wait to be able to come out and watch some of it. Tell me this, all right? I was actually thinking about this as you were talking about it. Is there a difference in terms of rules between indoor and beach volleyball? Is it is there
Yeah.
any other kind of difference other than obviously the surface that you're trying to play on?
Yeah, the courts are a little bit different. They're smaller, I think, for beach. There definitely are some different rules, but that are just nitpicky. You can tip the ball over with your fingertips. Indoor,
Mm,
you can't do that for beach. You have to
right.
poke it with your knuckles.
Yep. Yep.
Um,
Yeah.
and then setting indoor, you can set it and it can spin a bunch. And that's called a double, and doubles are a big thing for beach volleyball. So you kind of hold it more and then release, and
Okay.
the ball can't spin at all for setting.
Oh.
Um,
Okay.
and it's just definitely a very different game.
Wow.
Indoor,
Yeah.
you're just trying to smash the ball, but beach is a little bit more strategic. You only have two
Mhm.
people, so you just got to
Right.
find the surface area that they're not there, and then
Yeah.
try and hit there. But yeah, it's crazy. It is a little bit different for sure.
Man, that is way more than I was thinking. Wow, okay. Um, man, all right. So Finley, this has been an awesome podcast. Thank you
Mhm.
so much for being on. This has been
Of
great. What a
course.
awesome story, and just to see how your faith has grown, and just like you said, just to be able to have one of your teachers say that, hey, my wife wants to start doing some stuff with y'all, and how that changed a lot for you. So I think a lot of people can definitely be encouraged by that. As well, I'm super excited to be able to start back with FCA starting next week. And just like we were talking just a little bit before we got on, with just all the changes with the football team and the football coaching staff. And we already know that some of our main people with the FCA are in the transfer portal right now, and so probably not going to
Yeah.
be back. And so just I was talking to some other people this over the break about that, and it just only puts the urgency of, man, how important it is to start trying to be there for people, and be able to just like you said, try to be the light for the people, because you don't know how long they're actually going to be here.
Right.
Some of these athletes and coaches that I've been spending a lot of time with this first semester, they're gone now. And they're on going to be on a completely different campus, could be in a completely different state. And hopefully some stuff that we talked about has maybe changed them, and maybe they can continue doing that on their own kind of campuses, and truly be like an apostle going out and going into a uncharted land. And so like with all that, I'm very like excited with the FCA group coming back and trying to build off of all the stuff that we talked about in the first semester. And like I was telling people, like we were starting to average 25, 30 athletes every time. And so how great would it be to be able to see that number continue to grow and going forward throughout this entire semester. So definitely encouraged by that. And as always, for everyone that is checking it out, I do want to encourage you to think about and pray about possibly giving to FCA and possibly giving to what we're doing on the campus of Mercer. All of the links are there for that. We started out this year looking for 12 families to give $40 a month. We've had 3 of those families already commit to that, so we're down to 9. So man, think about it, pray about it, and see where God is trying to lead you to that, because everything that you give to this mission goes 100% to these athletes, to these coaches. We have summer coming up. There's a lot of FCA camps. Like I've even talked to some of the athletes as well about possibly doing like a mission trip, and FCA would love to pay for that. And so that we could cover the cost for everybody. But we pay for it based on people giving to the ministry. So please think about it, pray about it. All the links are there. But we would love for you to join up and start giving a recurring amount every month. So once again, Finley, thank you so much for being on the show. You have been a light, and I think everybody's going to be encouraged by hearing your story and everything that you had to say. So thank you so much for that, Finley.
Of course. Thanks for having me. This is awesome.
All right, guys. Hey, we will see y'all next week here on the Mercer FCA podcast. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, share it, and let's start trying to spread the word. We will see you guys next week.